Hello, everybody. I'm Derek.
I'm Blake.
I'm Alex, and welcome to 1 Hour One-Offs.
Every episode, we will pit a DM versus a player in an epic duel.
The DM must create a one-off campaign designed for a single player that takes 1 real-life hour to complete.
At the end of that hour, no matter what, the session is over, and a winner is determined.
We have a rotation of DMs and players, as well as settings and systems set up to keep each episode fresh and exciting.
So without further ado, welcome to 1 Hour One-Offs. Before we start this episode, we're going to get into the main meat of it in a second here. I just want to give a little bit of a content warning. The show's fairly clearly explicit, has been in the past. We deal with mature themes and stuff. This one, however, gets into some pretty heavy stuff, both emotionally in terms of perception of how certain people are allowed to live their lives based on how they were born and all of those things. As well as some gore and some heavy emotional themes just surrounding death and all of that. There are some opinions of some characters in this episode that are meant to show the corruption and darkness in this setting and not represent the views of me or anyone else that is part of this group. There's nothing that I feel needs to be mentioned specifically to avoid. But just know that this episode... Oh, yeah, there's some cursing. This episode just has that content warning, so if you're listening to this with your kid or whatever, maybe give this one a pass. At least until you listen to it first. Also, I have some very exciting news. We are going to be launching our Patreon soon. I understand that not everybody who listens is going to be able to support us. We are barely able to support us. None of us get paid for doing this yet. So, if you are not able to donate, like I said, that is so reasonable. We still love and appreciate you and want you to be listening to the show, but we got some links that you could send out. So if you're enjoying the show, if it brings you any little bit of joy, please try and share that joy. Support us so that we can make it bigger, make it better, and share it so that other people can listen along and help grow the community we hope to build. But I'm not going to ramble anymore. Let's get to the episode. Welcome, everybody, to episode, what is this, 4? Episode 4?
Yes, sir.
I think so.
Yeah, episode 4 of 1 Hour One-Offs. I will be your DM for this session.
I'll be our player.
I'm Blake. I'll be your moderator.
All right, and we are using, this is our rotator slot, as we refer to it. This is not either Star Wars or D&D 5e. This is Deadlands, which is a weird West cowboy-style RPG that uses regular numeric dice as well as poker chips and playing cards. There is so much mechanics involved with this system that I'm not really gonna try and explain them in all that much depth. I'll attempt to keep the nitty-gritty of it out of the episode so that it doesn't distract, but if you do want to know more about the system and how we interact with it, the PDFs are online because this system is from 1999 and is therefore out of copyright. The most important things you need to know is that this does involve an alternate history. The Civil War is ongoing, was never decided. Big mazes, they're referred to, cropped up in the middle of the United States, full of monsters and other weirdness, and have really prevented effective travel between the North and South, which is why the war's still going on. As for interaction with this episode, really the biggest thing you need to know is that this takes place on a Sioux reservation. Not how we think of reservations. Instead, the Sioux are still in control of Dakota and I think parts of California. That's not super relevant. And there are instead reservations on their land for pioneers that they allow to mine and live. And that is going to be the setting for our little adventure here. Would you like to introduce our protagonist, Derek?
All right. So, hi, everybody. I'm Derek. Today I'm playing Benedict Velstromm, who is the son of Gunther and Melinda Velstromm. He's a journalist on the payroll of the Tombstone Epitaph. That's the only reputable paper in the Weird West. He originally moved out west to investigate the Union Blue Rail's lack of progress, and has since been entangled in the political turmoil of the Six Companies. He's become decently acquainted with Sue and works out of a ranch in Deadwood. His lodgings are provided by his godfather, Paddy Dubkin. In exchange, Benedict helps out on the ranch. He can't choose his own schedule for when, and matters were further complicated recently when he discovered that Paddy's son, Pawshank, was running opium out of the California Sea stacks into Sioux Nation territory, using Pawshank's commission as an engineer with the Iron Dragon Company. Velstromm agreed not to report on this a day ago, but at the cost of their friendship. He's looking for a way to leak this story anonymously all the same, both to the press and also to Pawshank's father.
Red desert sun creeps up over the cacti, tumbleweeds, and rocks that adorn this landscape. Velstromm, you are disturbed in your sleep but not woken by the chilling cry of a jackalope that has been stalking this entire journey, something putting both you and Pawshank even more on edge than you might have otherwise been, because everybody knows that jackalopes are symbols of bad omen.
All right.
However, what does wake you is Pawshank's scream.
Okay, I shoot up my guns right next to my bedroll. I grab it, slam my 10-gallon hat onto my head, duck out of the tent, look around for Pawshank. Pawshank, where are you?
You do not see him around, but his tent is closed.
All right, okay, I'm gonna, walk over to his tent and, I guess, tear open the flap.
All right. As you do, you leap back in alarm as a rattlesnake darts past you and out into the desert, quickly slithering into the underbrush.
Oh, yoinks. Pawshank, you in there? Have you been bit?
Velstromm. And start the timer. His voice sounds weaker than normal. His usual rich, deep, southern baritone drawl is pained and strained. I've been bit.
Oh my god. Show me the wound. Maybe we can suck the venom out of it.
He pulls up his pant leg, and there are two puncture wounds right in his calf.
All right. May I try to suck the venom out of it?
Yes, you may.
And this is medicine?
This is medicine. It is probably not terribly... Does this have a dedicated difficulty? If not, I think I'm going to make it 8.
8's fine. I got a 10.
Yeah.
1d12.
Okay. Yeah. So, you immediately tend to the wound, putting the two of yours history aside for a brief moment when life is on the line.
Mm-hmm.
And perform the procedure. This leaves only one question. As everybody knows, there are 2 types of rattlesnakes in the Dakota Weird West. There are rattlesnakes, as we know them, and there are also whiskey rattlers, they're called, whose bite is much more dangerous, and unless he receives magical aid, is pretty much screwed.
Okay. Can I tell what kind of rattlesnake did this, or did I manage to get a good look at the culprit as it escaped?
The issue is the markings that distinguish them are on the belly.
All right, Pawshank, show me your belly.
The belly of the snake, just to clarify.
Of course. That's too bad then. Pawshank,
Yes.
Did you see the snake's belly?
I didn't. I did not. I don't. No, I was just woken by it.
All right, well, I've still got the taste of your leg in my mouth, but I think we should hurry up, get you back to Deadwood, poke around town for one of them spirit hero types.
Yeah, that's probably gonna be the only thing that can save me. Only trouble is, You and I both know if that was a whiskey rattler, then I'm good as dead.
Not if we find you a really good huckster. Come on, Pawshank. I still owe your dad.
He grabs your arm for a second as you lean over him, and he looks you in the eyes.
I'm perturbed. I wonder if he feels the same tension that I'm feeling.
You can't tell. It seems like his vision is wholly consumed by the pain that he's in right now. God damn it, man. We're 4 hours out of town. If that was a whiskey rattle, I'm dead in one.
Alright, damn. Okay, I'm gonna rack my brain for, like, I don't know, knowledge of any Sioux camps that we would have nearby who might be able to provide aid in time. Is there, like, an outpost?
So, do you have any knowledge skills? You're a journalist,
Yes.
I assume you have something.
I have several knowledge skills, actually. I have knowledge Deadwood region, I have knowledge Sioux Nation region, and I have knowledge Deadwood local.
Okay, why don't you use your knowledge Sioux Nation? And I think this is probably difficulty 5. This is fairly generic.
Okay. And I got a 6.
Okay. So, you know that there is... basically you know that there isn't. It seems to be that... So basically, if you don't make it to town in 4 or 5 hours, he's dead probably regardless of what the bite is.
Okay,
if it's a whiskey rattler, you don't know whether or not he has a chance even.
Can I slow this process with a tourniquet?
Yeah, absolutely.
Alright, I'm gonna look Pawshank in the eye and say, alright, we're gonna need to apply a tourniquet.
He just kind of further hikes up his pant leg and looks away.
Alright, I'm gonna take my knife and, like, cut that pant leg off of him, like, slide it off the leg, wrap it
you
around.
can tell the flesh on his thigh is already starting to swell up, so it's actually, like, difficult to cut the pant leg away where it's
Yikes.
starting to get stretched.
Yeah, I'll tie it as high up as I can reasonably get it. You know, grab
Is
a
it
big
above
stick.
or below the knee?
Above the knee.
Okay.
Yeah, grab a big stick, like, shove it in there, give it a few twists, or many twists. Yeah. Tie it off.
He's like, so you push the stick in, and he already lets out like a little groan of pain, and by the time you've done like the few twists, you look over and see he's biting on his belt.
Damn. I'm sorry, Pawshank. All right.
He actually. So you say, "I'm sorry, Pawshank."
Mm-hmm.
He spits. We both know that ain't true.
All right. I'm sorry it happened to someone, but I'm less sorry because it happened to you. Anyways, I tie off the tourniquet. I look around for our horses. I try and strap him into his with the rope that I have in my pack.
Okay. Yeah. The horses are nervous. They have been ever since they were able to smell the jackalope, but you are able to get him, like, tied into the saddle so he won't fall out, you know.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna, like, affix his horse's lead to mine.
Mm-hmm.
Mount up. I'm not gonna bother breaking camp. And
Makes sense.
Gonna gallop off in the direction of Deadwood.
All right. Yeah, he's shaking around in the back of the not the back. He's shaking around in his saddle a little, kind of slumping. He seems to be waking up a little more as time goes on, though, and eventually he's able to muster enough strength to actually take the reins.
Okay. Yeah. So we're galloping down the trail towards Deadwood, then. I'm scanning the horizon for any signs of the jackalope. Have we been hearing it since?
You haven't heard it since the morning, but you're confident it's not too far off. Also, mechanically, the jackalope gives you the bad luck impediment, so anytime you go bust while it's around, the absolute worst possible thing happens.
Yep. That is unfortunate.
Yeah, it's so, like I said, Pawshank is he's riding on his own now, and he's pulled up next to your horse. He's clearly sweating though, and the pressure he's having to put on his leg to stay in the saddle is not doing him any favors.
All right. Damn, I don't have any alcohol on me, or I'd have been offering him a swig.
Actually, yeah, he probably pulls up alongside you. There's a long period of silence, and he turns to you. Got any whiskey?
Nope. And I just keep galloping.
It's a damn shame.
Yeah.
You just proceed in silence?
Well, I'll turn to him and be like, so, Pawshank, if you do die, I can break the opium story, right?
He looks at you with... So, every time you two have discussed this, it has been fiery.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it took a lot to drive a wedge between the two of you. You were fast friends, which is something rare in the Weird West, you know? Trust is rare. And for the first time, you see sadness, not anger. Yeah. If I'm dead and gone, there's nothing left of my reputation to save, so might as well tell the story.
Of course. I'll tell your dad you were coerced.
Goddamn right I was. Coerced by everybody. You know, it all started with that goddamn Macawy.
Macaulay?
You would probably know Macawy, Macawi.
Okay.
He is basically the town drunk, a former member of the Sioux Nation. He was evicted from their tribe for unknown reasons and has since become somewhat of a vagrant in Deadwood.
Huh. All right, I'm gonna ask him, what does Macawy have to do with this?
He chokes back not tears, but emotion in his voice. He killed Sue. Oh, also, sorry, she. Macawy is female. I keep forgetting.
Okay.
She killed Sue, and Sue was his dog.
I see. I always wondered what had happened to her.
Found her cooking her over a fire in a pit. I saw red. Ain't nothing been the same since.
In all the time I've known you, I'd have thought you to be the sort of man to shoot Macawy right there.
I wanted to. Lord knows I wanted to, but I don't know. Something came over me. I woulda shot her. That's true, but instead I thought to myself, why not do something better? Why not spread poison among her whole people?
And that's why you've been running opium into the Sioux Nation.
Well, I figure. He looks down at his leg, which is further swelling, and you're starting to see some, like, angry red lines spread out from the point of his, from the point of the bite.
Oof. Sepsis?
Yeah, you would know that is not sepsis. It's actually, internal tissue destruction from the snake venom.
Unfortunate. Is there a chance of a better outcome if we just amputate and, like, cauterize? Right here, out in the West?
Interesting. I mean, I think so there will come a point where it is clear whether or not it's a whiskey rattler. He'll start to develop certain symptoms around the bite. Mm-hmm. And at that point, you might want to consider it, because he's dead anyway. But it's not much less of a death sentence to unsterilely cut someone's leg off in the middle of a desert.
Well, we can always set up a fire, you know, and, like, run it over our blades.
That's true.
Like, would it improve his outcome if we amputated it now, and it was in fact a whiskey rattler?
I think you would just have to make that call.
All right, I'm going to turn to Pawshank and say, hey, I think we should cut your leg off.
Pawshank's eyes go wide. He, for a second, he looks like he's gonna, giddy up his horse and, like, try and run. But he pauses and shakes his head. Yeah, you're probably right.
All right, I pull over then to the side of the trail, and I get a fire started with my tinderbox, and, can we find much dead brush around here?
I think you're gonna have to help Pawshank get off the horse.
All right, do I need to roll for this, or can I just walk over and, like, sling him over?
No, but you just notice, you've been, like, setting all this stuff up, and you notice he's still sitting on the horse.
Oh, shoot. All right, yeah, I'm gonna, like, look up and be like, shoot, Pawshank, let me give you a hand here. And I'm gonna help him out of the saddle and, like, lay him on the ground.
Yeah, he goes to object, but pretty quickly realizes that, yeah, he is actually gonna need your help, and accepts it.
All right, I leave Pawshank on the ground, and then I look around for stuff to build my sanitation fire with.
While you are looking around, you hear a cry of alarm from Pawshank, and a bullet rings out.
Oh, shoot. Okay, I am going to stop looking for brush. I'm going to stand up. How far am I from where Pawshank is?
I imagine not far, because you are probably actually already aware of what's happening. Jackalopes are like vultures. They aren't strong enough to kill things, and instead rely on their bad luck aura to put their victims in a vulnerable state before they can rip out their throat. And this jackalope has just attempted to charge and kill Pawshank on the ground.
Yeah, I spin around, draw my Colt Peacemaker. Yeah, vamoose on over back to camp.
Yeah, you see the antlers and white tail disappearing into some brush.
Oh, is it like thick brush or is it like one bush?
It's like one of those standalone twiggy bushes, but the jackalope is weirdly capable of hiding in it. It's not like invisible, but it's more difficult to see than you'd expect.
Okay, I'm gonna keep a bead drawn on the bush and bustle over to Pawshank's side. Pawshank, did it get you?
Goddamn some bitch rabbit coming out here trying to rip my throat out. I'll show him what's for. And he's got one shaky hand on his pistol pointed at the bush as well, and his other one is fumbling for where he keeps his deck of magical cards in his pocket.
All right, I'm gonna help him and take that deck out and like slap it on the ground within hand's distance.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Now, the only issue there is that magic does take strength. You don't know whether he's actually going to be able to use those cards.
If he wants to try, I'm going to let him. I don't know much about huckster magic out in the Weird West.
That's fair. It's probably not super common up in the north.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, okay, so now it becomes looking for twigs and then amputating with a jackalope right there. Is it still in the like solitary bush?
You'd probably have to roll something to properly determine its location.
All right. I'm willing to either scrutinize it or
I think you can, whatever you want to use, if you can justify it, is fine by me.
All right, I'm going to scrutinize that bush.
Okay. Let me take a look. So this is gonna be versus the jackalope's,
Sneak?
Yeah, that makes sense. So that's versus 2d4.
Heh. Yeah, out of my 2d12, I produced a 10. Highest.
Alright, let me find 2d4 in my little...
You're gonna need to explode twice, my guy.
Jackalope proceeds to triple explode.
What'd you say?
You'd need
Jackalope proceeds to triple explode.
Yeah, I mean, it's way more possible on d4s.
It's true.
Nope, 2 2s.
Huh. All right, what do I see?
Yeah, the jackalope is still in that bush, but it is standing, like, perfectly stock still, and its fur is kind of blended into the sand behind it, and its antlers are kind of looking like, branches.
All right, I'm going to try and kill it right here, right now, and I'm going to tell this to Pawshank, too. We're going to take that sumbitch down.
All right. Before you even roll, he is going to roll a smarts roll, and if he succeeds, you miss automatically.
Okay.
Yep. 5 over 3. So you can roll this attack if you want, but you're going to miss.
Can we do, like, are we going into combat, action deck and everything? Or are we still...
No. This jackalopes are very, like, timidly, cowardly creatures.
All right. Then I shoot and I miss.
Yeah, you shoot, and it seems like the bullet should have passed, like, directly through the rabbit's head, and it just kind of twitched to the side with that little, like, vermin... You know that, like, little vermin attention twitch they do?
Mm-hmm.
It does one of those, and the bullet just, like, pew, right past it.
Okay. But it's still in the bush?
It is still in the bush. It has not moved.
Okay, I'm just gonna shoot again.
Okay.
Does it get another smarts check?
Yep, and it succeeds.
Okay.
This time, I think it is going to run away to a further bush when you do it.
Okay.
So I will say, mechanically, how the jackalope works is it basically has a 50% chance to avoid every attack. It has 1d6 smarts, and on 4 or higher, you just miss.
Very rude, very rude. Well, both my peacemakers are out of ammo, so I'm gonna spend 2 actions reloading them.
Are they single shots?
Yeah, they're both single action, single shot revolvers.
Well, so if they're revolvers, each of them has 6 shots.
Huh. Good point.
They're single action, which means you need to cock the hammer back every time.
Yeah, it's
and
definitely a single
reload.
shot.
Oh, okay, it's single shot, not a revolver?
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense, then. So yeah, what do you do?
Okay, I'm just gonna take that bush, the closest bush, so I can keep an eye on the jackalope and an eye.
So you keep yourself in between Pawshank and the jackalope?
Yeah, I just set this bush on fire with my tinderbox.
Okay, yeah, that's very easy. It's basically a tinder bush.
All right, yeah, and then I'm gonna...
Actually, this is a somewhat biblical scene right here. So you're standing in front of this this burning bush, being a human barrier between your friend who you don't particularly like and the forces of death and nature.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for my commandments. But while I do that, I'm gonna run my machete through the flame. And I'm Yeah.
How long do you leave it? I'm not going to give you, like, a time penalty for it, but, like, how much of a burning does this take?
I'm just gonna, like, leave it there for a minute, you know? And I'm, like, passing my blade in and out to get
so
that
it's not,
nice, even heat.
It's not quite, like, red hot, but it's like when you can tell metal's about to be red hot, you know?
Like, heat's rippling around it, even against the desert.
Exactly, and like there's like a slight, it's like slightly lighter colored, you know. It's got a little bit of that. So yeah, it is very very hot.
All right, I'm gonna walk on over to Pawshank and I'm gonna tell him to bite his belt.
Yeah, let's roll a medicine check.
Okay.
Or is that what it's called?
Yep. And my medicine is a 1d12. And I
was gonna say, this is probably pretty hard too. Let me think of the difficulty before you tell me the result.
You don't need to think of the difficulty because
Did you
I
roll
have
a 1?
bust.
Oh no! Okay.
And the jackalope's right there.
The jackalope's right there. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, you are able to cut through his leg at the knee, So thankfully, this wound is below the knee, so you have a joint you can amputate at, which is always ideal. I imagine, so you're not super trained in medicine, but you have, like, followed doctors for research and stuff before, and so you know something about how all this works.
Yep.
So, you get the knee on its side, you try and find the gap between the bones, you raise up, you swing down, and cut through his knee in one slice. You then take the hot edge of the blade, you quickly, like, sterilize and reheat it in the bush, and then go and cauterize. And it's only after you finish cauterizing it and further hike his pant leg up his calf that you notice the poison has already progressed past the knee.
Okay.
So you have amputated his leg, but he still has rattlesnake venom in him.
Oof. Okay, hopefully there's at least less. That's all we can do for now. We're gonna take Pawshank, sling him back into the saddle.
Fair enough. You take a look at it, and you can't... Yeah, I'm just gonna say you can't tell, really, like, whether or not that's a potentially lethal amount of rattlesnake venom or not. That's not the sort of thing you would be able to...
Nope.
No.
I don't know that much.
Yeah. I will say Pawshank is in shock now. Unless you have some pretty powerful painkillers, that's a lot to deal with.
I'm just a journalist. I have no painkillers.
Yeah, he does not scream, and you're pretty sure that's a bad thing. Like, you cut his leg, and he just passed out.
Okay. Alright, I'm gonna take Pawshank and, like, strap him into my horse, and then I'm gonna, like, get onto the horse, like, in behind him. Yeah.
So you're both riding the same horse?
Yeah, I'm kind of just spooning his unconscious body
yeah.
so it doesn't, like, fall off behind me, you know? And
Okay.
I am going to double time it on the horse back towards Deadwood.
Yeah. You're effectively single timing it, because it's twice as hard work for the horse to carry two people. But regardless, you are still able to make it. And actually, no. You can push the horse harder because now you have two horses and you can switch horses.
Oh, nice. Excellent.
So if the math all works itself out, and you are in fact double timing.
Fun. Okay, do we make it to town?
I was gonna say, actually, so you're quite a ways out of town, and it is probably it's a good chunk of time before you start to notice that Pawshank is kind of talking in his sleep a little.
All right.
He's mumbling a name.
What's the name?
It sounds like Makawi at first, but as you listen, you realize he's saying Macaw, not Makawi. And it's not long after his voice becomes clear enough to actually make out that he and jolts himself awake. And he looks around and he looks down at the arms wrapped around him. Macaw? He says?
No, it's not your boyfriend. It's me.
What? No, I don't have a boyfriend.
I'm sure you don't. Alright, we're just gobbing back to town now. What's up?
He yanks hard on the horse's reins, actually. And the horse rears.
Whoa,
Can you
Pawshank.
make me a roll to not fall off?
Alright, I'm gonna call that horse ride and nimbleness.
Absolutely. Difficulty 5.
Alright.
He's not hard enough to, like, he's not strong enough to really yank on the reins right now.
I've got that 2d6, and my 6 is going to explode. So I'm going to roll that again. And I've got a 10 overall, so that's 1 raise.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna say that not only do you not fall off, but he also does not fall off.
Nice.
And so instead of, like, the horse rears back, but you're able to do the thing where you, like, kind of spin the horse around as you do it, so the horse just kind of goes up and turns around and is now facing the other way, yeah.
Alright. I'm gonna complete that 180 and nudge us back towards town again, get us going at a slower pace, and be like, yo, Pawshank, we need to get to town.
I told you, he spits off the side of the horse. I don't have no boyfriend. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
So who's Macaw then?
His face, he goes kind of pale. You can tell from even the back that his face is pale. Macaw ain't nobody. I was talking about Macawy.
Don't think so. I think you have... Wait, first of all, I want to clarify that Velstromm has nothing against gay people. I wanted
sure.
to make like a Brokeback Mountain reference, but that's probably not a thing yet.
No, because movies aren't a thing.
All right. I have no judgment if you've got a man in your life, Pawshank. You should tell me about Macaw so I can let them know what happens if you bite it.
He pauses for a long time. You stay away from Macaw. He's dangerous.
How so?
He's a sorcerer.
Yeah. Cast a spell on your heart, huh?
I was cursed,
Cursed.
bewitched, sullied. I was damned by that witch.
God doesn't actually hate gays, you know?
Who the hell are you to be telling me what God wants? Is Velstromm atheist? Is Velstromm religious?
Velstromm, went to Sunday school back in the Union and, attends church for the, big holidays. Easter, Christmas, and so on.
Okay. But, so effectively an atheist in today's context of religion.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't know the Lord like I do, he says. I felt his love and I know I'm no longer in it.
I'm sorry to hear that. So who is Macaw? Does he help you with the opium?
I told you. Macawy's the one who started me on the opium. I don't want to hear nothing about Macaw.
Can I scrutinize that?
Yeah, absolutely. This interesting. I think this is going to be opposed.
Okay.
So I think this is going to be scrutinize versus, is there, what's the equivalent of,
Bluff?
willpower? Bluff, yeah. I think Pawshank's probably got a pretty good bluff. He's a grifter and a huckster.
Right.
So lying is something he does. I think that's probably 3d12.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and we're both aiming for 5, so modifier of 5.
Okay.
Oh goodness, loose dice. All right, I actually have no idea where that went, so I'm just gonna re-roll one of these.
Rip your dice.
All right, I did not succeed.
Really? I rolled 2 d12s and got 5s on both.
Interesting. I got 2 4s and a 1.
I'm sorry to hear it.
I don't know
But
what that third
Velstromm
D12
isn't.
was, but...
Alright, tell me what's up with Macaw and Macawy and Pawshank.
So I will say, yeah, so what you get out of that, what did he actually say? It was
It was Macawy that got him started on the opium, and Macaw
yeah,
has nothing
so I'm gonna say that you identify that's a lie. That Macawy is not the reason he got into the opium.
Okay. I'm gonna call him out then. Hey, I can tell you're not just shaking from the venom, Mr. Liar Pants. What's up with the opium?
I told you, it's revenge. And that does ring true, for what it's worth.
Revenge for what, though? Because it sure as heck wasn't Macaulay eating Sue.
Yeah, it was. But there's no real conviction there.
Oh.
And he kind of grumbles into silence for a second.
All right, I give him his second.
Yeah. You know what? I think that it is right around now that you come across the jackalope just sitting in the center of your path. It sits there and scratches the base of one of its antlers with one of its powerful hind legs. It's very suspicious that it's this out in the open. Most people don't see a jackalope, they just hear it and then die.
Like, if it revealed itself to me, that would mean I was also in danger, right?
Pretty much guaranteed, yes.
I'm gonna look around for dangerous things.
Yeah, and why don't you roll me scrutinize just versus this is probably 5. These things are a little sneaky. No, let's make it 8 because you're really good at scrutinizing and
Okay,
they are very sneaky.
My D12 popped off and I got 12, 12, 7.
Oh, nice. So you got 31?
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Holy shit, yeah. You know exactly what's going on. You see some flashes of orange. The rustling of bushes and tumbleweeds, thankfully not tumblebleeds.
Yeah, I do the sign of the cross.
Yeah, and realize that there is a small pack of foxes circling your horse now.
Okay, were they just like banding against like the red-orange earth till now?
Yeah, and they're very like low to the ground and slinking kind of thing. And before you weren't necessarily paying that close attention to the ground around you as much as Pawshank and the road.
Okay.
I think this one is roll initiative for what it's worth.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you a +2 though because you spotted them all.
Thanks. Alright, so like +2 cards or like +2 to my 2d12? Keep highest one.
+2 to your 2d12, keep highest one.
Alright.
And we roll speed, right? Or it's
It's quickness against 5.
quickness. Alright, 3d8. The foxes are just going to be treated as a single entity, by the way. I'm not going to roll for all of them.
Okay.
Alright. Alright. My highest was a 6. They draw 2 cards. What about you?
I've also drawn 2 with a modifier.
Ah. Unfortunate. Alright, do you want to draw 3 chips for each of us, Blake?
Yes.
So chips are kind of like destiny points from Star Wars. They let us... They're usable by either of us for just bonuses.
Does it need to be randomized or just 3 chips for each of you?
Randomized would be ideal. Actually, wait, Derek, you have to do it, don't you?
Yeah, I have a macro for it.
Yeah.
So 3 chips for me is white, red, red, and 3 chips for you is red, white, red.
I was hoping for triple blue. All right. So how initiative works in this is you draw cards out of your deck, and then you use actions in the order of numerical rank of those cards. So we're gonna cut out the determining of initiative order because it can be long and tedious.
All right, the Queen of Diamonds is gonna let me act now, so I'm gonna draw my first Peacemaker and point it into the pack of foxes. How far are they from me?
They're probably like 6 feet away from the bottom of your horse, so like 8 feet by diagonal.
Okay.
Just difficulty of 5. Let's not worry about the range bands.
Of course. And I am going to connect 0 raises, and my pistol does 13 damage.
Ho 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 ho! So they take 4 wounds.
Oh, it's a bad day to be a fox. Wow. It just threads the needle through 4 foxes, I guess.
No, I'm gonna say, did I say how many foxes there were?
Nope.
I'm gonna say there are 4 foxes, and that kills 1.
Okay, I will accept it.
Yeah, so, well, actually, that fox probably doesn't die. It takes 5 wounds to kill it, but you hear a yelp of pain that kind of Doppler effects into the night.
Doppler
Not into the
effects.
night. It just, you hear it getting quiet away.
Fox, and the
Yes,
pitch
exactly.
changes.
No, but it fades off into the distance.
All right.
1 fox has fled.
Cute. Okay.
All right. So 10 of spades trumps 10 of hearts, which means it is Velstromm before the next fox.
All right, I'm going to take my second and last peacemaker and fire into the crowd once more.
All right.
And I miss with this one.
Ooh, yeah. So whizzes. The foxes are small targets, moving relatively quickly, and I guess you are on horseback, so we should have been accounting for that, but you're not moving, so I don't know if we need to.
No, there's no way I could land a shot if we were moving. I'm just sitting on top of my horse.
All right, sounds good. One of them is going to come up and bite at your horse's ankles.
Highly rude.
Very. So this uses its fighting, which is 2d6 versus 5, and gets +2 because... so it hits with no raises and deals, it's going to use its teeth, which deals 1d6 plus 1d4. So do we know what size horses are off the top of our heads?
I certainly don't.
Let's say, I'm going to say, 8?
It's size 10, profile typical horse.
Okay, cool. And you always round down, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this fox deals 0 wounds to that horse.
All right. And the horse is Vigor. Ew, everything's abbreviated in this table.
Rough.
Right?
Yeah, dealt 8 damage, so no wounds.
Yep. And the horse has a 2d10 Vigor. So... yeah. And for wind damage, it's going to take 1d6 explode. And this d6 popped off, and my horse just took 16 wind damage.
Holy Christ, yeah. So the fox is unable to, deal actual damage to the horse, but it does, spook it.
Yeah.
And it's, kind of dancing in a circle.
Yeah, my horse goes from 0 to 100 stress instantly, actually, because it's got 14 wind. So it just shuts down.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So your horse is actually so badly spooked by these foxes and the presence of the jackalope, because it affects the animal as well.
Right.
That its eyes start rolling in its head, it starts bucking, and you realize before too long that the horse, if you stay on its back, the horse might be the most dangerous part of this situation.
All right, I'm gonna try and I guess it would be an action, right? Yeah, I have no actions, so I'm just on the bucking horse for now.
I'll let you kind of try and dive off for free. If you want to try and regain control of it, that would be an action, though.
No, I want to just get Pawshank. God, is it... Okay, I have to judge whether it's better for Pawshank to stay on the horse or to be exposed to 3 foxes.
I think definitely the 3 foxes.
Alright, yeah, I'm gonna yank Pawshank out of the saddle and try and, plop him as gently as possible onto the ground.
I'm gonna make you roll for this simply because of the jackalope effect, and if you go bust, this could go very poorly.
Okay, so
this is
deafness,
nimbleness.
Oh, nimbleness. All right. Just raw nimbleness?
Just raw nimbleness.
Nice, I've got a 46 to that.
Nice, and this
And
is
none
this
of
is
them
probably just
explode,
5.
and I produce a 3.
Oh no! Oh no! So I'm gonna say that you take a single wound to your legs.
All right, is Pawshank doing okay? My leg is wounded.
My
leg.
I will say you can take a second wound to prevent Pawshank from taking a wound.
Sure, I'll upgrade that to a major wound to my leg.
All right, yeah. So you twist your ankle.
Yeah, we're leg bros now.
We're leg bros. Right. How are we doing on time?
16 minutes left.
Okay. Yeah, the bucking and so there is one slight advantage to this. The bucking and wild horse tramples a second fox to death, and the other two slink off. And
You look up, and the jackalope is no longer directly in the center of the road either.
Excellent. All right, I'm gonna try and calm this horse down.
Yeah, you're gonna need to give it, at the very least, some time to cool off. Like, you're worried about trying to approach it right now.
Okay, so it's just time if I want to let this horse calm down?
Well, and you do have other things you could do.
I have another
Pawshank.
horse.
That is also true. I forgot about that, but also Pawshank is just kind of laying on the ground right now with an amputated leg.
That's true. I pick up Pawshank and I strap him into the other horse, and by the time that process is done, I look back at this horse.
You notice something as you go to pick him up. The red lines that you noticed creeping above the knee, evidence of the snake venom extending above the knee, have turned black and are now like deep rotted lines in his flesh, basically. This is a whiskey rattler.
Oh no, Pawshank. It's a whiskey rattler.
Yeah, Pawshank is going to die.
Is there... And, like, do I just know this? It's hopeless?
I
No magic?
don't think there is anything you know of that you can do.
Like, do I know that even if I find him, like, Deadwood's best huckster healer in time, he's still dead?
If the huckster healer was here, he might live.
But if I, like, ride back as fast as possible...
There's just no time. Yeah, you're hours away, and he has minutes left, kind of thing.
Okay.
13, to be accurate.
13 to be accurate.
Okay. I'm gonna... Okay, let's see. Is he
So
responsive?
I imagine you notice he's fairly responsive. You notice this, and I imagine you've just been kind of taking a moment to collect yourself.
Okay, does Pawshank notice this? Like, is Pawshank aware that Pawshank is dead?
I don't think so. No.
Alright. I'm gonna, load him back into the saddle and be like, alright. Hey, Pawshank, let's talk about macaw and about opium.
Yeah, he looks down at you from the saddle. Told you I didn't want to talk.
I know, but so I don't get in the horse too, I just, leave him up there so he can feel like he has the advantage and all that, right?
Yeah.
And, listen, Pawshank, you're not gonna make it. It was a whiskey rattler, and you are a goner. And I was hoping...
He reaches up and takes his hat off and kind of puts it on his chest for a minute.
Yes, I reach up and I take the hat and I put it on my chest for a minute as well.
You both stand there for a moment. There's a huge awareness from both of you of the loss of your friendship in this moment. And, he shakes his head and puts it up. You goddamn right, then. I'm a dead man. He kind of groans in pain and grasps at his leg where, the first chunk of necrotic flesh has started to actually, separate from his leg. I feel the flames already. I know where I'm bound. Just leave
You
me.
can change it, I'm sure. Since you're dead already, you might as well come
Nothing
clean.
can change what I done. I come clean already. I talked to the Reverend. The Reverend he looked so sad. He told me he'd lost another sheep to the wolves. I thought he'd meant I'd been taken by a wolf, but I guess I just never really was a sheep. I never belonged in God's light. I was weak. I fell so easily.
Listen, the Reverend's gonna do all that he can for your soul, but I want to do all that I can.
The Reverend
for
told
everyone
me
else.
I was damned.
Well, maybe we can change that if you tell me what really happened. I promise that I'll dedicate the rest of my time here trying to set whatever you did wrong to rights. I swear it on the friendship that we had. Can I do persuasion?
I don't know. I don't know. Let's just keep talking for now.
Okay.
You're goddamn right. I guess this is some sort of a confessional. I ain't gonna live to hear these words repeated.
Yeah, I'll
All
just
right, then.
nod.
Yeah. I only made one mistake that brought me from God's light. The opium,
that?
all that's a holy crusade.
I
The
see.
Sioux, they chose opium. I never chose macaw. First time I saw him, he was dancing. I was drunk. Wandered my way off the reservation like I'm known to. And this is definitely something Pawshank is known to do, is wake up
and
drunk.
wander.
Yeah, states over. You know, he's kind of legendary for his benders. I saw him dancing in the moonlight. I don't know what it was, but he was beautiful. The way they say women are supposed to be. Something came over me. He must have been performing some rite or ritual, and I was compelled. I was overtaken. After that, I went to the Reverend. You know how that went. He told me I was lost, and God damn it, if I'm going to hell, I'm gonna take every last one of them I can with me.
I see. So, how's Macaw connected to the opium then?
It was the best way I could think of. Make them choose their own damnation.
I see. Alright, in like Velstrom's mind, he's like setting his next journalistic crusade to be against like fire and brimstone preachers of the era. But oof. Alright. Is there anything more that you wanted to say? Pawshank?
I ain't want to say this, he says. Ain't nothing left to do, though.
Alright. Well, the way I see it, I can leave you in that saddle and you can die of whiskey rattlesnake, or I could shoot you, or you could shoot you. And I'm gonna like offer the grip of one of my peacemakers reloaded quietly post combat.
Yeah? I think he's gonna look at you. I can't. I told you I was weak. I don't want the pain, though, either. I know... Listen, I know you hate me. I know you don't believe in the things I've said, and God, I just wish there was... I wish things were different.
Me too, Pawshank.
Can you do this for me?
Of course. And I'll, take my gun, level it at his forehead. And...
Before you pull the trigger,
Yeah.
can you forgive me?
Of course.
He nods.
Huh. Okay. I got a 4 on my bluff check. Anyways.
Oh.
I shoot him right there.
Wow, you were lying?
I think Velstromm understands...
He's dead now, I will
Yeah.
say. You shoot him, he falls out of the saddle. Do you
Yeah.
bury him?
Now I'll take the body back to town, so there's no suspicion on myself, and also so that Patty Dubkin
Okay,
can
yeah.
see
Yeah. So you bring him back to be buried.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're only a few hours out of town, and that's relatively easy. I don't think we need to play that out, but I will say that there is we see Velstromm ride into town with the one-legged corpse slung over the back of the horse, and just there's the classic. You know what? This is even sadder for the rest of the people. They don't know about the falling out.
Yeah. It was
So everyone just sees
very
you
recent.
riding back with the corpse of your best friend, and there's just we see people take their hats off and hold them on their chest as you pass through the streets, and as you reach his father's house, it pans out and out and out, and you just hear the cry of emotional pain ringing out. Cut to black. Definitely tune in for the post show for this one, guys. This is
Yes.
the end of the episode, but I have so much that I want to talk about.
Yes. Okay.
And up next, if I am remembering correctly, I think we will have Blake DMing Star Wars with me as the player. Thank you all for joining. As always, it's been a joy to have you.
Yes. Thanks, everyone.
Now, before you tune out, I just want to give a huge thank you to every member of this team that makes this podcast possible. Derek and Blake, my co-DMs, I couldn't do it without you. You're there with me every Monday, recording, chatting, doing our thing. It's great. It means the world. Casey Ahern, you know how much you mean to me in this project. Casey is our community manager. Anytime you see a post from our Twitter or Instagram, follow us at 1 Hour One-Offs on both sites. Anything like that is all her work. She is very much the face of our project on anything that is not Derek, Blake, and I talking into a microphone. Lyrica Yanaway is our editor. She's the one that processes our raw audio, as well as managing our schedule. She's also kind of our stage manager. She manages the schedule. She gets everything in order, makes sure the ship is sailing smoothly. And of course, Dana Bolger, our audio engineer and sound designer. You are the only reason that we are not just 3 idiots rolling some dice, and instead you help bring us into a fleshed out and creative canvas that we can paint. So thank you all. And of course, thank you to you, the fans, the listeners, anybody who tunes in week after week and helps let us know that we're actually getting something done with this. Thank you.